Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Barakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya coming at you with another lesson, and I'll be reading from an article on foxnews.com titled, Man Posts Video Urging People to Shoot at ICE Agents on Site. TikTok user Bilal_Donk said you might as well shoot them, ICE agents on site, and have your day in court. And hey, there will be sedition and civil unrest in the United States of America. You know, you got a lot of people in an uproar about this situation with ICE. More and more people getting in an uproar about these tariffs Trump, recently threw on these different nations, and just people generally not liking Trump, looking at him as a dictator and the Austrian painter 2.0. And all of these grievances are only going to intensify as the economic and, moral and political situation in the United States of America continues to deteriorate. Like I've said in past videos before, as well as other brothers, hey, these people out here in America are going to go from throwing words at each other to eventually throwing lead at each other. And that's all a part of biblical prophecy. So nothing can happen. No new person can get voted in, or people coming together to fight the power is going to stop that. A TikTok user posted a disturbing video on the popular social media website calling on people to shoot at ICE, immigration, and custom enforcement agents on site. And this is just quoting what he said, but they got the clip right here, which I'm going to play. And it was reposted from the Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's Twitter. If you threaten or attempt to harm law enforcement officer, we will find you and prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. Here's that clip. Fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes.
On site. That's right. Shoot at ICE agents on site. That's right. If ICE agents are trying to take you or a loved one, shoot them on site. The way they're pulling up with masks on, with unmarked vehicles, no badge, no nothing, it could be anybody. It can be gang members. You have every right to shoot at them. This would be the best self-defense case. You're just in fear for your life. You don't know who's behind that unmarked vehicle or who's behind that mask. This is ridiculous. What is our country coming to? Why would you want to be an ICE agent anyway? Do you like separating kids from their parents? Do you like deporting students that are studying? I can understand deporting a gang member or criminals, but innocent people, it's ridiculous. The way these ICE agents are pulling up with masks on, unmarked vehicles, they are pulling up like gang members. They are pulling up like the mafia. You might as well shoot them on site and have your day in court. Take care, guys. Now I'm out.
And for most people, they would think, they're just rolling on illegal immigrants. Hey, they're rolling on anybody, darker than a brown paper bag. Because a brother did a video recently with clips from, Israelites. And a lot of it was from, so-called Negroes, Judah of the Southern Kingdom, talking about how security at airports is getting much more tighter out there. They didn't look like a so-called Latino, of the Northern Kingdom. But, the security there was taking them to the side, questioning them, asking them for their papers. And one, Judite lady was straight up told, ma'am, you might want to reschedule your flight because, hey, we gotta identify who you are. So to you, you so-called Negroes, you so-called blacks, African Americans out there, hey, you're not exempt from MAGA or Trump coming after you. He just starting off with the Northern Kingdom. Hey, as the elder brother Malcolm says all the time, the Northern Kingdom, the so-called Latinos and Native Americans get it first, and then Judah gets it the worst. And we are quickly coming into Jacob's trouble, where this devil is about to show his horns towards you, Israelites. Revelation 12, verse 12. The devil is come down in great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Which brings me to 2nd Esdras chapter 16. I'm going to read verses 70 to 72. And remember what that guy said in that clip. How do you feel about ICE agents coming and taking people and breaking up families, taking children? Hey, it's only going to get worse from here on out. For there shall be in every place and in the next couple of cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. And those that fear the Lord are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the true children of Israel. While those that know they're Israelites are the main target, Esau's coming after the whole nation. Verse 71, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. And we're seeing the beginning examples of those madmen right now with these ICE agents. As that guy said in that clip, that's my first time hearing him say it like that, with the unmarked vehicles and them, coming with their faces covered up. But he's saying, they're pulling up like that and just, snatching people up. And then I remember a couple of months ago, you had, Gadites, so-called Native Americans, saying ICE was showing up around where they dwell at. And, Native Americans are outright citizens. So again, it's going to get to the point where it doesn't matter where you're a citizen, you have residential status or not. Esau is going to be rolling on all those that fear the Lord, you Israelites. And in that video I just mentioned that the brother did, it was another so-called black woman, a Judite woman, crying because the man she was dealing with, which I believe he was Northern Kingdom, he got a letter in the note saying, hey, show up to this particular building so we can get your immigration status papers in order. And his woman and his mother told him, don't go. But, Jake was being simple and he went, and they detained him to where they couldn't see him, and neither of them could even call him. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. And imagine how much worse it's going to be when there's martial law on the streets of America, and it's, troops, whether foreign or domestic, patrolling and rounding up you Israelites. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Again, which we're seeing, the beginning stages of with these ICE raids, going in, snatching up the Northern Kingdom, taking them away, taking children away, breaking up families. Or unless we forget, Trump is saying, oh, he's just getting, they ain't even saying that at this point. They're saying anybody that's illegal. But for a while they were on that kick where it was like, oh, if you're a criminal or a gang member, hey, that's who we're getting. But recently, you had some so-called Venezuelans, who are Israelites of the Northern Kingdom, getting snatched up and sent to prisons in El Salvador. And they were saying they were gang members, but come to find out, they had no gang affiliations at all. Just this devil showing that perpetual hatred towards you Israelites. National Border Patrol Council Vice President Hector Garza told Fox News Digital that this type of message is not only dangerous, but that it also incites real world violence. This kind of rhetoric is not only dangerous, it incites real world violence and determines the rule of law and undermines the rule of law. Our agents risk their lives every day to protect this country, and they deserve to do their jobs without fear of being targeted simply for wearing the uniform, Garza said. And I'll say this too. We're coming into a time where there's going to be a lot of deceptions and subterfuge out there to create a particular narrative. As it says in 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, lest Satan, you've got the spiritual demon Satan and his physical counterpart Esau, the so-called white man, should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And this guy could have said this from a genuine perspective, or hey, it could have been set up to push that narrative that there's going to be domestic violence against law enforcement caused by social media online, so we need to clamp down on free speech. And this was a TikTok video, and that whole situation going on with Donald Trump and TikTok. So things like this could be used to further bring about, internet censorship, online censorship. And again, we know who the main target is: the men of the Lord preaching this word. Because, with this video right now, I'm telling you that through the scriptures, that civil unrest and, government and law enforcement officials will be targeted out here eventually. I'm not telling you to go do it. I'm simply saying what's going to happen according to prophecy. But they can say, this is inciting that violence. We need to scrub these videos online and take legal action against people, as Christy Naum said, as it says in Isaiah 29, that make a man an offender for a word and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. In some form or fashion, things like this are going to be brought back and blamed on the men of the Lord. And as pursuant to Amos chapter 8, verses 11 to about verse 13, there will be the famine of the word, where we will no longer be on the highways and byways preaching this word, nor putting up video epistles like this online. So to you sincere Akim and Akwat out there, and you should be drinking from these rivers of living waters while you still can, because, we are getting very close to that famine of the word. But regardless, again, according to prophecy, there will be civil unrest on the streets of America. This is Isaiah chapter 19. I'm going to start at verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. And this is talking about the spiritual Egyptians as pursuant to Revelation 11 verse 8, the United States of America. First and foremost with these American Edomites. But hey, you other American citizens are going to be going at it as well. As we just saw in that clip, he didn't look like an Edomite. He looked like an ethnic person, whether he was Northern Kingdom or an Ishmaelite or so-called Arab. But what was he saying? Hey, if ICE rolls up on you unmarked, you're well within your rights to use your kinetic devices. And I will set the Egyptians, the Americans, against the Americans, and they shall fight, everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. What does that sound like? Civil unrest, civil war. But now I'm going to jump down to verse 4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts. And it's looking more and more like DJ Donald Trump is looking like that cruel Lord that's going to be set over Egypt. And as we can see, a lot of people are against his policies. And again, from that clip, what was that guy calling for? Hey, they roll up on you, put them down. Pretty much saying, we not with ICE, and we not with the policies that Trump's pushing. And as this situation in America on all levels continue to deteriorate, that hatred towards Trump is only going to increase. But now I'm going to close it out in 2nd Esdras chapter 15 in the Apocrypha. I'm going to read verses 15 to 17. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and that one people against another can go into many things. One race against another, because there will be race wars. Nation against nation, as it says in Matthew 24. One political group against another, conservative versus liberal, class warfare with the rich and the poor, etc., etc., brother against brother, city against city, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And that modern day sword in America is that gun. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and sedition means conduct or speech that incites open rebellion against a ruling authority or monarch, which is all that man was saying in that TikTok clip. And invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, those in the government, from the mayor, the governor, the senators, the president, as well as the authorities that uphold the system, like the military, the police, or even ICE. And you saying, look, they roll up on us, you within your rights to put them down, is you completely not regarding your kings or your princes. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Hey, people out here getting it how they live. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. What does that sound like? State of martial law. Papers, please. And like I was saying, in that video that brother did, you're having a lot of, Israelites getting questioned when they come back into the country, about their legal status. A man shall desire to go into a city like America and shall not be able. And hey, it's going to get much more stringent out here with identification. We know what this is ultimately leading towards. Everybody having that micro C-hip implant in them, which is the mark of the BEAST in Revelation 13, verses 16 to 18. But that's it with this video. With this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharallah, and until next time, Shalom.